Welcome to another episode of Beards Without Borders, the Royal Edition. Enjoying the spoils of war today. Glass of red wine in the royal chalice. And also, a friend of mine, whose blue life matters, if you know what I'm talking about, made me some bitters that I'm going to put in some rum. This one is apricot. And I mixed it with a little bit of the eggnog that I have. So let's see how that is. This is so good. This is so good. In a square shot glass, of course. Chris, you hit it out of the park, man. This is unreal. The apricot will be the Van Gogh room portion from here on out. Tonight's episode is brought to you by the Cobbett Shire pipe by Missouri Meerschaum, round at the bottom, kind of like an acorn style, and Dunhill Early Morning pipe tobacco, although it's late at night for me. I'm going to be doing a series of interviews, a completely different addition to the playlist. I'm not totally sure what I'm going to call it yet, but I have 3 guests already that I'm going to be chatting with. Whether it's going to be called the Royal Roadhouse or Alley Chats or something like that. I'm not sure yet, but we'll figure something out. And I'm trying to figure out royalty-free music. I wanted to use Quincy Jones. When I had a radio program back in the 70s, my show was called Midnight Soul Patrol, and this was the theme that started the show. I can't play it too long because of royalty reasons. Bizarre 70s. Look for interviews. It's going to be a completely separate thing. I was going to do Beards Without Borders, make it part of a Beards Without Borders broadcast, but I really feel that it should be separate because the Beards Without Borders broadcasts are really special. So it's going to be completely separate, so you'll be able to, those of you that don't like interviews and me talking with people, you can choose other items on the playlist on YouTube. It always helps to label things when you put them in the refrigerator after you've eaten them. Tonight I had what I thought was going to be spaghetti with meat sauce. It ended up being spaghetti with chili on it. my roommate did not label the container meat sauce or spaghetti sauce. It was turkey chili that I heated up and put on my spaghetti tonight. So that was a little twist. It was good. I did not expect that. I was like, oh, this sauce is bad. And then I realized, oh, it's chili. The interviews are going to be chats with people that I respect and people who I think are interesting. People that I think who make good interviews, who you're going to find fascinating. I'm not a gotcha kind of journalist or writer. I'm a respectful person. As you can imagine, the Sultan would be respectful people. And I just can't wait to get this started and introduce you to some just cool, different people. People that I respect. People that you may like. I got to try that rum with the apricot bitters in it. Lord, that is good. Holy cow. Like I said, one of my friends whose blue life matters for the past 27 years, I don't want to say he's been walking the beat. Shall I say he's been flying the beat as a chopper pilot? We don't give any names here on Beards Without Borders. But I have a friend and a guest who I cut his hair on a regular basis, and I used to cut the hair of his family, who was a tactical chopper pilot for a very large police department and has done tons of work with national security concerns and presidents and so forth. So it's somebody who I highly respect and enjoy company. Do you have friends like that, where you really, they do things that like you wish you could do or you may have done, or their jobs are just fascinating? I have friends like that. And I love talking with them. Love talking with them. I have one guest, and we always have great talks, and he is a fundraiser for a major college and a top fundraiser. His knowledge of raising money and getting right to the questions and bringing the money home to that university is amazing. I had a guest in the chair today who, another fella who is if you follow my Instagram, you'll see this, who is a Harley rider. I got him interested in joining a Harley owners group, which I think the camaraderie would be incredible. He showed me pictures of his bikes, and I honestly, I get weak at the knees with just a great motorcycle. A good Harley Davidson is just, the sound of a Harley is beautiful. Now, I love the sounds of other bikes. I've had Hondas, Yamahas, Vespas. I love the sound of a Ducati that I could put a blindfold on and I will tell you which motorcycle is the Ducati. I love the sound of I think it's a KLR 650, which is kind of like the dual-purpose Kawasaki 650 cc's, on off-road, very high-sitting bike, dual-purpose. Love the sound of that motor and the stock muffler, that is. I love the sound of a Vespa scooter. Love it. Are there motor sounds that you like? Is there a certain motorcycle or a certain set of pipes that creates a sound that resonates with you? Something that brings you comfort. When I hear certain motors, the rumble, the resonance, and certain pipes, it's comforting. Even though it might be loud, it's comforting. And I love the sound. I'm not crazy about the Yamaha sport bikes, the way they sound. A Ducati? Nothing like it. The Moto Guzzi? I love the sound of a Moto Guzzi. That motor and their stock mufflers are incredible. Love them. It's getting to the point in the Van Gogh room out here. This is the Van Gogh room. It's too cold to be video recording anything on the deck or in the backyard unless I totally bundle up. So the Van Gogh room, for those of you that don't know, several thousand of you already know what it is. It's the half of a woodshed, a tool shed in my backyard that I have a table, 2 chairs, oil lamps, a propane heater, my outdoor pipe tobacco, as opposed to my indoor stuff, which is stored in the dark in a chest, probably 100 mason jars with various tobaccos of different vintage. Out here is the stuff that has experienced a lot of the hot summer and the cold winter and that kind of thing. Some over-the-counter drugstore tobaccos, your Carter Halls, your Sir Walter Raleigh, that kind of stuff, which I like. This is Early Morning Pipe by Dunhill, and this is a designated early morning pipe, corncob pipe, just for it. Now they say never mix grape and grain. Now rum is made from molasses, so it's not whiskey. You never mix whiskey and wine. So something like rum is compatible with red wine. Here's to all my motorcycle rider friends. The Royal Chalice. Bob from Bergen County. I have to tell you, that big giant Cohiba, I'm saving that for a special episode because I know that's going to be actually 2 episodes. That'll be an hour of shooting and then divided up into maybe 3 segments because that's a big old cigar and I can't wait to fire into that. That's been in my humidor since you gave it to me. The oil lamp, I put a pie tin over the top of it. It catches the heat. If you put your hand over an oil lantern, there's so much heat coming out of it. This way here, the pie tin actually reflects some of the light down so it doesn't illuminate the ceiling. And it also gets warm and radiates a little bit of heat for those of you that are the heating and cooling aficionados. I'm still looking into proper clean vaping. I'm not interested in cereal, root beer, Fruit Loops, or maple syrup flavors. I'm interested in good old-fashioned dab, so to speak, for calming of some medical issues. So I'm looking into that right now, but I want to have the most efficient form of delivery as possible. I want to put together some type of costume of like a medieval king, somehow, some way. I want to do something Game of Thrones-ish, with leather and studs and fur and like boots that come up the calf. I want to create that kind of wardrobe, that costume. And I would love to be able to do videos as kind of like a medieval king, a warrior king. Not the type of king that just sits on a throne and tells people what to do, but the guy that's bearing a sword as well. I've always liked that kind of king. In the same way that I've always liked leaders of countries that were actually generals or strategists. Are there any cosplay or wardrobe or Renaissance fair people out there? Do you like dressing up as things? You've seen me wear many different hats, which a hat can actually change your image. And for those of you who have beards, you know you can pull off any hat you want. Even if you want to wear a crown, you can. Because wearing a crown with a beard works. I'm so excited about these chats that I'm going to have. You're going to see the Sultan of Silver in action with people. Some people say to me, why don't we see you cut hair more often? The reality is, some people like to take a million pictures of their clients. I have a more upscale clientele, and my prices are going to be going up after the first of the year to just ultra premium. And I will tell you that the people that I have don't mind the after pictures. They just don't want to be, and for networking purposes, obviously. They don't want to be, they like privacy. And I like cutting hair in a private scenario. And people just zenning out, or ASMR. People just enjoy the process and the experience as much as I enjoy giving it. There was one point where I was giving a guy a shave. This was a few years ago, and his wife was watching from about 20 feet away. And she says to me, "It is so relaxing watching you shave my husband." And I said, "Well, that makes 3 of us." She goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "You're relaxed. Your husband is just about falling asleep because he's snoring every now and then. I hear a little snort." And I said, "And I'm in my zone when I do it. If I'm cutting someone's hair or doing a blowout on a girl or applying makeup, or I'm doing anything that has to do with fashion or beauty to a guest, I get into my zone." And it's, you just kind of go on autopilot. And that's the beauty of loving what you do. I just want to say peace be with you wherever you are. Even if there's no peace on the outside of your life, there can be peace on the inside. You could be hearing noises that you don't want to hear. You could be experiencing things that you don't want to experience on the outside. But on the inside, you have peace. So in my culture, my background, we would say peace be with you, and the proper response was always and also with you. And those of you that have written me and commented down below, I always appreciate when you pass peace to me. I really like that a lot, and I enjoy giving it back to you as well. So peace be with you. Wouldn't it be great if peace made the headlines? Only calamity, war, and chaos and trouble hits the headlines. We can only dream, right? And it starts with us. If it starts just with this community, you and me, then that's a good start, isn't it? Have a great night, everybody. Good night.